Hello and welcome everyone to a new episode of Tawhid and the Spiritual Unity of the Three Principles. And today, today we have a juicy topic: effortless well-being. It's always amazes me how, um, um, you know, like uh, I'm going to share on something that just popped up in my mind because something happened to me yesterday while I was about to sleep. I had this thought that how on earth I could share on effortless well-being, and I was feeling shit, while I was going to sleep. And so there is no secrets here, but um, the, the thought that I've experienced in that moment, it's something that we experience literally every day. Something that tells us something about ourselves, about people around us, about our partners, about the world. And thinking this is like a hook, something that either we see it for what it is, which is a thought passing by, or we don't. And so what happened is that I fell asleep, I woke up, I even forgot that I had this experience. And now when I was pondering today about what to share, about this topic today, um I remembered what I had before I sleep. So it's completely gone. And I was feeling good in the morning. It didn't really matter, that thought that I had before I sleep. And so uh here lies the power of effortless well-being when we disengage, or when we um, um, not find interest in our negative thinking, because we will have negative thinking. We will have thought that will like doubts, that something that will make us question what we are doing, like sometimes um, question about why I'm feeling this way. How can I get rid of that? And most of the time, we look for the answer outside of us. And this is the first step to suffering needlessly. And it's innocent. Like, we do it every day, most of the time. Like, there is nobody on earth that is like living happily ever after. Like, we will have challenges. We will have thinking that will trigger us, and we will get caught up in that. But the good news here is that it's not who we truly are. This is as we say in the 3P community, it's a passing cloud. It's something. It's an unwelcome guest. Our thought, like our negative thinking, is like unwelcome guest. And what we do most of the time is that we serve them tea, and we have a chit chat with them, and this is where we dwell in our suffering. This is where the dwelling starts. This is where the experience of having a negative feeling starts, when we engage with those thoughts that are in our head. And so this is something that is within all of us. Like we have this capacity to let go of our thinking and come back to who we truly are. And like the moment we see that our experience of suffering is not coming from what we think about, but it's coming from what we are thinking of, and seeing thought for what it is, this is where actually we come back to effortless well-being. So there is no effort here needed from your part to come back to that space within you, that innate health, that innate well-being, that resilience. It's always up for grabs we have access to it at all times, no matter what we are going through in our lives, especially in our darkest moment. I remember I did a podcast episode. I was doing a podcast called Insightful Sharing from the Inside Out. And I remember I was interviewing this lady. Actually, she told me she had the darkest experience she never had. She was riding her horse, and then she broke her neck, and then she had coronavirus, and it was like a mess for her. And she couldn't see a way out of that. And even she knows about this understanding, she was in a dark place. And then one morning she woke up and she starts really appreciating the little thing. Like she was on her bed, couldn't move, and psychologically not doing well. And she starts enjoying, like, the sun shining through in her room. She starts enjoying, finding joy in the little things, So to me, like, the way I heard this is that she stopped really engaging with her experience and how she's feeling and what's happened to her. And she her thoughts paused. She popped out of that reality and came back to the true reality. And she found that feeling of joy and happiness in the moment. And so little by little, she started her, healing journey. And for me, like, healing journey is all about coming back to the essence of change, to the healing space that is within us. The healing journey is not I'm talking about psychological healing here. It's not a step-by-step process. It's not something that something we have to do every day gradually and see improvement. You could, in a split second, see something that will take off all the BS that you've gathered, maybe about some person or about yourself, and seeing who you truly are, and then, popping out of your head and seeing everything as it is. And like the way you start noticing is really enjoying the present moment more often. You start, people around you will see the change in you, and they will ask you, like, what's happened, like something changed. I remember when I came across this understanding, my first year, that was in 2017, and I was doing a psychology degree. And I remember, after my first year, the beginning of the second year, my classmates start, coming up to me and asking me, like, you've changed, something has changed. What have you been doing this summer? Have you been studying? What have you been doing? And I couldn't see this for myself because, I'm with me all times, But people around me start noticing something has changed, like I became more calm. I became maybe kinder to people, or gentler, or whatever that is. And this is the symptoms of really seeing through our BS. Whatever thought generated experience that we create ourselves, once we see through that it's made up of thought, and thought is ephemeral. It's always passing by. It's always it doesn't have any shape or form. It's not something rigid or solid. And if we put a thought here, it wouldn't take any space. It's really nothing. we could change our minds or our thinking in a split second. We could change our minds about something that's happened years ago, like forgiveness. Maybe forgiving something that happened years ago that is in the background of our head, and once we think of it, we feel like angry or upset. Or forgiveness and love go hand in hand, and so when we kind of make peace with that, this is where we become more present. This is where um, we see how our well-being is effortless. So I don't know if I'm um, making any sense to some of you. I know like some of you already um, resonates with that and see that and want to know more about that. But I would love to hear from someone. Um, if you have any questions or something to share, that would be great. Just raise your hand, your digital hand, or unmute yourself. Anyone?
Okay, I will speak.
Oh, yeah.
Hi. Well, adversity. I mean, I'm learning about this over the holidays. Like, even if it's a difficult situation, there's learning, and about even loving that difficult. So it makes everything kind of more one, I guess. Like, because in adversity, yes, it helps raise our level of consciousness. I read that and I thought, wow, who would have ever thought? Because we need new learning. It forces us to have new learning. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Monica. Hara. Hi.
Hi, good to see you. Well,
Yeah,
I've
good
been
to see
thinking
you.
about this a lot because when you've gone through experiences where you've had quite a few experiences consecutively over the years where people, for no really good reason, decide that they want to harm you in your job, in your they there's nothing about you that has been rude to them, but they see you maybe as a threat, or maybe you're too inquisitive, or they're intimidated by you. Even if you're very nice, my experience is that people will just, and maybe it's spiritual, I don't know, and it's not that I'm perfect, I make mistakes, of course, but I'm talking about really undermining behaviors, in jobs and different things. So you develop kind of a self-protective kind of like, it's not really PTSD, it's more just like, you become very intuitive, you develop that sensing aspect of yourself, and you're sensing danger. And so it because I have this aspect of my personality now, I have to really filter thoughts, and I have to think, okay, is this truly a danger, or is it just these patterns that make things look like this person is doing this or that? And so I understand how to work with that, but it's just it I think being careful is good, but at the same time it can also be very limiting too, because you're afraid.
What's your question, Hara?
Well, my question is, what do you think is the best way to discern whether your fear is right, that you're being told to not pursue something because it's not going to be good for you, or there's something bad about that, or if it's just maybe the fear itself. That's what I'm trying to pray about and work through right now, is how to understand, because I haven't been good at discerning about people in the past, or jobs.
Mm.
So so I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Fear of what?
Of somebody trying to harm my career.
And where do you think that would come from? I know you know the answer, but how does it look like to you?
It comes from me being stupid, or just not making the right decisions.
Well, I don't believe that.
Because I have done stupid things in the past. I'm a very charitable person, and I've been, you know, stupid in the past because I was naive or whatever, but I've kind of gone to the very opposite,
Mm.
as far as in my personal life, I'm still very charitable and, but as far as professionally, I just have to be very wary. And I'm not, I'm just not sure about what types of jobs are safer for
Mm.
me.
Well, if you let's say you have an interview tomorrow and you get a job of your dreams, do you think that your safety will come from that job?
That's so brilliant. Well, no, I mean, God is where my safety is, right? God, but at the same time, we make decisions. So God doesn't control everything that we think or do. Um,
But how do we connect to God? Do you think that we connect to God through worry and fear?
Absolutely not. We connect God through prayer, through faith, through I believe through my work. I connect to God when I'm
Oh yeah.
practicing, doing my work. I feel very connected to God because it's part of what's called Opus Dei. It's like the work of God, that I feel like anything can be the work of God, anything in our work. But it hasn't really limited bad actors or just situations from turning out very badly. So, I mean, God is sovereign, right? But I still manage to get in these really bad situations, and I don't. It's just it's interesting, but where people just hate me, and I'm not doing anything except for trying to do the very best I can possibly do.
Mm.
So I
let me pause you there, Farah. Like how would someone hate you affect you? How could that
because they
affect?
go and so let's say you have a manager and you're a new employee, and then they
Mm.
decide, who knows why, that they're going to go and complain about you, or they're going to go and do things, and they do it very secretly. And so then the manager becomes very frustrated because she's had all of these different um, negative reports. And then your reputation, so reputation in an organization is very important.
Mm.
Trust in an organization, especially in medicine. So but there's all these whispers constantly of negative things that are just stupid, but the manager isn't really a good leader, and she has the power. she doesn't really listen to you. She just kind of judges. So basically, it's, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
Oh no. Just keep sharing.
Uh,
Here is what's occurred to me, Farah. Um, um, this is an experience you're having in your job. But what occurred to me is that you're attaching your safety or security to something that is not permanent. Your job or your boss or your colleagues, they really have no control over who you truly are. And like when you try to change that, you're trying to fix it, or like it's like the blind leading the blind, or fixing a mess with another mess.
yeah.
You cannot really fix a mess from the outside, and you cannot really fix it in the inside. You just have to see through that mess you're experiencing in that moment. So whatever thoughts you're having about your work, your colleagues, what they're doing, it really cannot affect your true self. Your true self that is always connected to God or to this infinite intelligence. But when we are in a state of fear and trying to fix, we're trying to do a job that is not ours in the first place. We're trying to, thinking our thought and thinking the thought that our thoughts has, told us. It's just a mess in there. We don't see things clearly. We don't feel good. We suffer needlessly. And we are disconnected from God, or it appears to us that we are disconnected from Source. But we are always connected to Source. It's us who doesn't see that from time to time. So when these thoughts are not around, and I'm fully engaged or absorbed in whatever I do in the moment, maybe you're having a stroll with your kids in the park or on holiday or whatever, or in the house just doing something fun, you're absolutely absorbed in that, whatever you're doing. So, well, your colleague or boss said something and you didn't like it, but still you're enjoying that. How that comes, if they are the source of your fear and negative feeling and that.
Well, so I'm not currently working right now. That job ended up being so negative because of all the dishonest things that were going on that I ended up being let go from that job, and that was in the end of September. And I've just done just contract things since then, and I'm trying right now to decide about a new job, and that's what I'm kind of struggling with the fear about, is which way to go. And I'm usually not an emotional falling apart type person. I'm kind of being more authentic with you because you just bring that out in me. I don't know what it is. You do, you just have such a beautiful spirit. I just I and I do spend time in prayer, and I have very strong faith. I just I'm kind of at a crossroads, and I've got an opportunity to do some contract work with a good company, but I'm still worried that there'll be people that will try to ruin my reputation with these people. It's just always there.
What reputation, Farah?
Well, I don't know. Just saying negative things from previous jobs.
What is your reputation?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's whatever you make it to be. That's what your reputation is. It's your self-image.
Yeah. Well,
and
I wish it was like that in the nursing world where I am. Different. It's different.
Well, yeah. You're trying to defend your ego, Farah.
Yeah. Yes.
And we all do, you know, like, and the ego doesn't like stuff. If we are being told something, well, don't tell me that. I don't like that. You know, I have a personality. I have a thing. But here's the thing: we are suffering a constructed idea about ourselves. And the thing is that we cannot get rid of ego, but we can see through it and not play that game, because there is a lot of suffering in there. Because I'm trying to protect something that I've created myself. You have this idea about yourself, about everything, about, you know, you as a person, as Farah in this world. And, you know, we suffer that. We all have an identity in this world, but that's not our true identity, Farah.
Yeah, that's very true.
But here's the thing, like, when we see this for ourselves, and fall out of that thinking about ourselves, about everything, and we come back to source, we create something new and fresh in this world. We are connected. And it's from that space that you could see what next for you, what you want to do in your life. Well, like, if I'm in a space of worry and, you know, filling the gaps about what could happen to me in the future, like, this is what I call pre-suffering. Like, suffering is something that didn't happen yet. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen in 5 minutes from now, Farah, let alone knowing what's gonna happen with your future new colleagues in this new job. You have no idea.
That's true.
But the thing is that your wellness is with you wherever you go. To the job, you know, to your job, you know, to your home. Wherever you go, you take your well-being with you. And nobody could really harm that space inside of you. It cannot be harmed, ever. Whatever happens. And sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it. And sometimes we forget that we are, you know, we're having a human experience, and we are in the human race. And so we think that this is just us in this world. Look at other people. They have a good life. They have the job they want. But you never know what truly happens with these people. Like, you don't know, like, what's in their head. You don't know that, like, their insecurities and struggles.
It's true.
And we all you know, suffer from that from time to time. But the thing is that all what you're experiencing is you being innocent to your experience in the moment. If I have, this thought pop in my head, what if I don't find a job? What if this happen? What if I find a job and I don't like these people, or they're gonna hate me, or whatever? Like, this is a train of thought that I don't want to hop on.
Yeah.
I want to hop off that train of thought. I want to wait for a purer train of thought to guide me. And so, like, that wisdom station, I call it, is where we're connected with source.
Mhm.
Source always comes to the rescue, Farah.
Mm. Yes. I
Whatever
know.
experience we are
Trust
having.
me, and every experience I've had, I just sort of more vulnerable right now because of being in a crossroads and having to make some decisions. And also, when you're out of work or you do lose your livelihood, that does make an impact.
On your ego?
No, on my family finances, on my children, on kids that are dependent on my husband and my husband who's dependent on me. So, and he also works, but we have a lot of obligations. So it's just when you lose your job, and you had significant responsibilities, this is hard. So you have to kind of think, what can I do in the future to prevent this from happening, because it's very bad.
Mm. So my question to you, Farah, where do you think what does look like to you is the answer here from what we discussed?
Well, what you said was that being mindful of the big picture. For example, it's easy for
I
any of us.
know this won't pay the bills, but just stick with
Right,
me here,
right.
like
But
we're
it gives
getting
you
to
inner
somewhere.
peace. It's fine. You gave me um, the bird's eye view, right? So understanding that where my source comes from, where my reputation comes from, it doesn't come from other people.
Mm.
And trust in God, and just you said some wonderful things that I don't mean to argue with you. I feel like that's really good reminders for me. And I know all of these things, but just for myself,
Yeah.
to step back and reconnect and just clear my mind.
Yeah. Well, this experience, it's nothing compared to yours. But there is a point I want to make about this. When I was studying in London, I remember a time where I lost my job. The rent payment is due in a week or two, and I have exams. And can you imagine, like, and I'm in a foreign country. I'm in England. My parents are in Morocco. And I don't want to ask them for, help or anything, because, like, I'm paying everything by myself. And so, like, I couldn't think properly. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was, like, just in my head trying to fix this. Few days later, I remember this lady that used to call me from time to time to work in, like, events, festivals, etc. And she called me in that time when I was, you know, like looking for a job and like how to get this mess fixed, you know, trying to fix it. She called me out of the blue. Hey, Omar, can you come for work? I need you for 3 days. Are you available this date, this date, this date? And so I worked like for 8 hours. Anyways, the amount I gathered from you know, working for this lady for 3 days is the exact amount I needed to pay my rent, you know, pay my bills, you know, top up my Oyster card for the tube station and get it all fixed. And so whenever I fall into this situation, I know that I'll be completely fine. So if you have come and told me when I was having this experience, Omar, wake up, this is your thinking, this is not who you truly are, this is this and that, I'll just like be like, please shut up, please, I have things to fix here. But in hindsight, like we see that everything is working not against us, but for our own good, for our, you know, wellness and well-being and okayness.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I fall into these situations, like similar to these, like where I'm stuck and everything comes at you, be like, just you have to do this, fix this and that. I disengage with my thinking about what's happening. Because if I'm engaged in what I'm experiencing, I'll be a mess. And I wouldn't know what to do from that space. I would not be in a state where I could hear for wisdom, or I could see an opportunity, because my head is full. And I don't have space for that, to see something new and fresh. And so I'm not telling you to do nothing and, you know, your effortless well-being, but there is something deeper here about all of us human beings having this, you know, human experience. That, like, even Sydney Banks used to say that life is like any other contact sport. You will get your knocks, but it's not how many knocks that counts, but how you handle them. If you handle them with hate and jealousy and anger, that's what you get in return. But if you handle them with love and kindness and understanding, that's what you would get in return.
It's really good, very good advice.
I hope you don't see it as an advice, Farah.
No,
Please,
I mean, I don't mean advice. I mean, truth. That's what I mean.
Thank you, Farah. Well, let this sink in, and then let's get in touch and let me know how
That'd be
it's
good.
going. I'll be happy to hear from you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Don't be shy, people. I don't bite. And even if you think your English is not that good, or you don't know how to express yourself, or whatever thought you're having, don't worry about that. Just, you know, just share. We are in a space of no judgment here. Mete.
Yeah, my English is very bad, but I will try to express myself.
No worries.
I suffer of envying, to be envied, envied. You understand that word? Envy,
How,
envy.
how do you spell it?
Envious.
Oh,
Envious.
and
Er det misundelig?
Yeah,
Det er envious.
envious.
Envious. Okay.
Envious, envious.
Envy.
I suffer of that just now because a colleague of mine have a lot of success in doing what he wants to do. I think, and it give him success, and I have also a longer for not, yes, maybe I lie to myself. I also have a longer for doing things that give me a kind of success, satisfaction to help, meet other people. And it is very difficult for me to realize my activity in yes, in where I'm going and where I'm sitting, and about that envying. I said to myself, it's okay, and it's because of my longer for doing what he does. But it hurts me in my heart, really. And maybe it's just a grief over not to express myself, take space in what I'm really want to do. So what about longer? I have lots of longers.
Yeah. You know what struck me about you sharing this, Mette, is that our innocence, I see your innocence in this experience, but you are maybe not seeing it right now, but it's really in front of us all the time, that I am the one here projecting my thinking onto people, onto my experience. People cannot make you feel envy. This experience is really your definition of whatever that is you're experiencing in a moment. You could define any experience at any given moment and give it a name, like a phobia. You hear a lot of people, I have a phobia of this, I have a phobia of that. But when I hear people who see through this phobia thing, and they are getting better and they don't have these phobias anymore, They just see through the narrative and the projection of their thoughts onto that experience they're having. They give it a meaning. So we don't suffer what we think about, we suffer the meaning. And the meaning is us. It's our own creation. It's always our own creation. We create our experience. But because thought happens in like, it's so fast that it looks to us that it's coming from that object or that person or that event, that circumstance. It looks to me that I feel the way I feel because this happened. It's easy to blame it into what we, like see. But the experience I'm having of that circumstance or like that person or whatever that is always generated within us. Does that make sense, Mette? Like, am I making sense to you?
No. It's
Well,
difficult. It's difficult for me to understand when you're saying you can look through the envying. It's difficult to understand.
Okay. What's difficult about it? I would love to know.
If I look through what I'm so going to see.
Okay, Mette, like if your hand is on a fire, would you keep your hand on that fire or take it back?
Take it back.
So the envy you feel is like putting your hand on a fire. The envy you feel is taking your thoughts away out of that experience to see that you've sidetracked in your thinking, that you're going the wrong direction. You're going to the illusion, to what is not true. So what is not true is thinking that the envy is coming from that person or something outside of you.
I think the envying come because I cannot do what he can.
Yeah.
I longer for do the same, but I cannot doing it.
You cannot do that. Okay. Well, how could that affect your well-being, Mette?
One more time.
How that could affect your well-being?
Yeah. Because I feel sorrow in my heart because I cannot do what I wish to do.
Okay. Now, I just want to be clear here. Like, I don't want to tell you that, like, here is what to do, what not to do, but I'm pointing you at where this experience you're having is coming from in the first place. Because once you see that for yourself, you'll be able to get in touch with that space to know what to do and what not to do. So, like, thinking that this this thing that you want to do you cannot do, and being jealous of that person is really putting your hand on fire. Like, you're giving up your well-being for a little while.
Yes.
And that's something that you are creating for yourself. But it looks like it's not you, it's the word. But metta, your experience of the word and everything is coming from thought, coming from your thinking. That, you know, this power of thought. Thank you, Katerina. This power of thought, this ability to think in the first place. Because if you don't have this ability to think, you wouldn't know what is hate, you wouldn't have envy, you wouldn't be, or you wouldn't have a human experience at all. Like you will be dead, or like this is what happened when once we stopped processing thoughts. This is where, you know, like we are officially dead. But for you to have this experience of envy, metta needs to have a say and think her thought and have a definition and meaning to feel that. Meaning that your envy is not coming from that person, what he's doing or what he's not doing, but it's coming from what you think about that, what's happening in your head. And what's happening in your head is not true. It's a BS. It doesn't tell you about reality. It doesn't tell you about who you truly are. It tells you about it doesn't know metta. It doesn't tell you about metta. It doesn't tell you about this person. You're thinking, or your envy tells you about what's happening in your head in that moment. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, please help me out.
Yes, I think maybe it's when you said it's not my truth, it's my false image of my place in world in the world, or my false expectation from myself, what to do.
So how does, like, let's pretend you do whatever you want to do and you succeed. Like, what do you think would happen for you?
Don't know.
How would you feel? Well, like you have an idea of that, right?
Yes. I will feel calm and happy and satisfaction and
Mette, can I pause you there? I'll pause you there.
You pause me to
yeah. I'll just interrupt you.
Yeah. Pause it. Yeah.
So you think that happiness and calmness and joy will be achieved once you succeed and do whatever you want to do? Is that what you think?
Yes.
What if this is not true? What if you already have that calmness and joy and everything you're looking for inside?
Exactly that I don't understand. I cannot understand it is right for in front of me.
It's okay. You don't need to understand that.
No, but I can't see it either.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It's it will come when it will come.
Yeah.
It will come when you least expect it, Mette.
I will look forward to it.
Yeah, but please don't try to go and try to understand it
Mm.
with here.
I understand.
Just let it percolate and sink in deeper. And I'm happy to have a conversation with you about that. On if you send me a message or an email, I'm happy to have a chat about that.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Mette. Thank you. Well, this conversation took a beautiful direction. You know, effortless well-being. My God, we are so used to doing to feel good. I mean, that's how we were, you know, conditioned, and we've grown up into believing that I need to take this action and do this and that so I could feel peace and feel good and feel joy. And so this beliefs and conditioning and thoughts that we've gathered, you know, along the way in our lives, like most of them, if not all of them, are myths, are not true. And so, like, one of the myths that I've seen for myself when I came across this understanding is that I need to fix me. That's the first myth. Like, I want to fix me. I thought there's something broken inside and I need to fix me. You know, I was training my mind to be more positive and doing all this, you know, law of attraction thing and hypnotherapy and NLP. But when I came across this understanding, it dawned on me that I was trying to I was trying to fix something that cannot be fixed, that doesn't need fixing in the first place, that is not broken in the first place. Like we are not broken here. We're not lacking. We're not missing anything. We are divine beings having a human experience. But because of you know, trying to intellectualize everything in our lives, we get lost in our thinking. And that lostness doesn't seem like it's our own making. It always looks like it's coming from the outside, and I need to fix the outside. But there is no outside. Without your thought. Your thoughts let you know about what's happening in front of you. What you think about that experience you're having, it's all yours. That experience is generated within you. And so feelings are I was telling Mette, when you put your hand on fire, you feel pain. That pain is a signal to let us know what's happening in our head in that moment. So in Mette's case, the envy is letting her know about having envy thinking. doesn't mean she's a bad person or whatever. It means that she's sidetracked in her thinking, and that's what the experience she's having in that moment. But if she disengage or she detach herself from that story or that meaning, there will be no envy anymore. There will be space left for much more nurturing, beautiful feeling to come. There will be space for more clarity. There will be space for, more presence and joy and kindness and connection and seeing new opportunities and creating something out of nothing. That's effortless well-being. That's what I'm talking about. And if that doesn't make sense to you yet, yeah, give it time. It's okay, but stick to this and explore this for yourself. But don't try to get a PhD in waking up. The point is to wake up. That's a quote, by the way. The point is to wake up, not get a PhD in waking up. Don't study this as you will have to pass an exam or something. This is not that kind of learning. It's a different kind of learning where you see something for yourself and have a new, fresh thought about it. You will get it as you get a joke, or you'll get it as you see for the first time. We all studied math. See for the first time the solution for this equation. That's how it works. Oh, that's the answer. That's how it appears like. So I would love to hear from another person. If you don't have a question, you can just share wherever is in your mind or what you've been hearing. I love looking at your beautiful faces. Seems like you all had enough of me talking and enjoying the space. That's beautiful to see. Annie, hi.
Hi. I have not a question, but just a comment.
Sure.
You can hear me? Yeah, I will just say it helped me a lot thinking about the blue sky and the vision about we all are being like the blue sky, and all the trouble is just clouds driving through, and we are, as you say, divine being, and also the one that the universe have your back. I like that thought because that's very helpful for me. That don't worry so much. I have doing it a lot, but think about that. As you told, someone would come and help you, not only sitting and not doing anything, but if you believe in that the universe have your back, then don't worry. And I think that is very helpful, but it's difficult to learn it. We all have trouble learning doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I heard tonight, that it is difficult to learn that because we are, as you say, used to think a lot and used to fix a lot and so on. That's
It,
just my
it,
comment.
it is so simple that we miss the point, Annie.
Yes.
So this one I'm sharing today, it is so simple, but we miss the point because we try to listen to have a meaning of what we hear. We don't listen to see something within ourselves. We listen to answer or to think about what we've heard. And so some of you here today, they been hearing me and having a thoughts about what I was talking about, but I don't want that. I don't want you to have a thought about what I'm talking about. Don't have a thought about it. Just enjoy it. And while you're enjoying it, later, or maybe now, or you will see, something. Maybe you'll feel calm, or you will act differently with someone, or you will forgive someone that, I don't know, but something like this conversation like this, people really do transform, completely change. And I'm not even exaggerating. When I came across this understanding, I thought this is not true. Like, this is unbelievable. How could someone change in a split second, or they could really change and see something? Well, some people change in a split second and some people take longer. I don't know what makes the difference, but I know for sure that when people get quiet, they hear something new, or they have an insight about something that's happened a long time ago, or they have an insight about something that happened yesterday that bothered them. I always share this, this little story of one of my clients. She asked me once, Omar, is it normal if I don't get upset about, my friend not calling me to go out with them? Because this used to bother me a lot. And so my friend went out and they told me they called me, but they didn't. But I wasn't upset. I wasn't angry. Is this normal? That's what she asked. Well, this is absolutely normal, What is not normal is really, being upset about this stuff, taking offense. There is a saying that says, if you don't take offense, you won't get offended. You need to take offense first to get offended. If you don't take offense, you will not get offended. Offended doesn't have to do anything with what's around you. It always has to do with how you see things, the meaning you project into what you see. And so about what you said, Annie, it's difficult to understand. Yeah, because this is not intellectual. It's not in the realm of intellect. It's what created intellect. It's what powers intellect. It's the source of everything there is. And we are part of that. That's who we truly are. That's the space of effortless well-being. And so when we see that, we get more of wellness in our life. We get more present. We get more kind. But it doesn't mean that we will not have a negative thought. Yes, we will. But we will see through it and come back. Or we won't. And we will suffer until we see that it's our thinking in a moment, not what we think about. That the anger I'm experiencing has nothing to do with that person or that event, that it's me who is creating this experience. Like I'm having angry thinking. If I have angry thinking, I will be angry. If I have happy thinking, I'll feel happy. But I'm not telling you here to choose a thought and not choose another. I'm just saying that it's all ephemeral. It's all thought. Your essence, your essence is well-being, is joy. Like, you don't need to think happy thought to feel joy. I mean, you could try, it will feel good, but then you will, when you feel bad, you'll be like, I was trying to think happy thoughts, but it didn't work.
Mhm.
So don't stay in the realm of intellect. See something beyond that. There is actually a video that I posted a while ago about this, you know, to anyone like who've been in this understanding and they cannot really see anything. It's a 5-minute video and it's called, I think, Beyond the Intellect. Is on my YouTube channel. I've heard some good feedback about that, so I hope that it will help, you know, some of you here. But yeah, Annie.
I think it's all right, but it is. I think it is really urgent to think about that you have a new possibility, and otherwise you stay in your mind and saying this is my reality. But now we have the possibility to choose, and that is the first step to get calm, I think. So that's the learning process, because we all have some sorrow, or we have some pain or something we would like to get rid of. And when Maya told about it, it was very exciting to, hey, you can get rid of your pain, but it is it has to come inside out, and that's a new way of discovering yourself, and that's very you have to work about it with yourself, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a new way. We just forgot about that, because when we were babies, we were, you know, we were perfect at that, getting over things quickly, you know, crying and then laughing in a split second. How could that happen? But now, because we have a personality we developed, we have, you know, our own made up image about who we truly are, and our own thinking about the world and people, and it's you know, it's really coming back to that innocence again. That's what we are doing here, because it's there. It was there all the time.
I unmute myself again.
Thank you, Annie.
Unmute.
Okay, I think I'll go for one more person, and then I'll end this beautiful conversation. Anyone else? Maya, you've been quiet today. I know you might be in your listening space, or
Hi.
you're in listening mode.
I was doing some domestic work at the same time, and now I just sat down. I really been enjoying the conversation, and I love the questions and the well, just the exchange and the and what I what occurred to me was that there is this sense of detachment, that we just don't go into the area of problem, we go into the area of well-being, and because it's there, and when we feel it, we feel it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Maya. Well, I think that's all for today's conversation. I'd love to thank you all for, coming and being here and, sharing your insights and asking your question, and I'll definitely see you in 2 weeks with a different topic. And of course, if you have any question or anything else, please don't hesitate to contact me on Facebook or via email. I'll just leave here my email. All right, guys. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Xander. Thank
Thank
you
you
all.
very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.